in determining the effectiveness and efficiency of military institutions. The Nigerian Army operates meaningfully in single, joint, combined, and multi-agency operations, well known to this august audience. This paper is therefore a stimulus to participants, which I hope would elicit discussions. I make bold to say that our discussion can be unending based on respective experiences. May I solicit for your contributions to improve on my decaying knowledge. Once again, I want to thank the Chief of Army Staff and the entire Nigerian Army, specifically my former department, the Military Secretary Department, for picking me out of the numerous efforts to come and talk on this very important topic. I hope and pray that our discussions will enhance the quality of this paper. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Into the second segment of the lecture, which is the interactive session. With the kind permission of the special guest of honor, sir, may I respectfully invite the moderator for this segment, Colonel F.A. Obiajulu, to please coordinate the session. The moderator, sir.
Nigerian Army Medal, ably represented by the Chief of Special Services and Program. A very seasoned former military secretary, Major General J.H. Salam, the chief scribe and host of this seminar, Major General E.I. Okoro, the Deputy DG, Nigerian Army Military and Future Center, Major General please permit me at this juncture to stand on the already established protocol. We are now in the interactive session, and I am on the F.O.B.I. moderator. For the past 5 minutes or thereabout, we have listened with keen interest to an insightful and educating lecture delivered by our esteemed resource person, the person of Major General S.T. retired, and also a former military secretary. The lecture titled Military Human Resource Management in a Joint and Multi-Agency Environment, the NA Perspective, covered among others evaluation of the human resource management in the Nigerian Army, challenges faced by the NA in joint and multi-agency environments, some of which included coordinating communication and operations, logistics supply chain constraints, joint training, and cultural diversity. It further highlighted measures for effective human resource management in the NA, which include performance monitoring and evaluation, technological integration and digital resource management, material resource management, logistics and supply chain management, to mention a few. I do believe that we all present have benefited immensely from the wealth of knowledge and experience of the keynote speaker. That being said, I am aware you have burning questions and doubts which need to be cleared. And this brings us to the interactive session. The session will be conducted in this manner. The resource person will entertain 4 questions. 2 questions from each side of the hall. Thereafter, I humbly request for inputs and contributions from senior officers and invited guests seated in the front. Finally, the special guest of honor, who will be most respectfully requested to sum up the session. Now, to participants seated on my left. For your questions, Participants. Now to questions and contributions from participants seated to my right. It's very obvious that the keynote speaker did justice to the lecture, such that you participants who are the direct beneficiaries have fully understood what was said. Now, may I respectfully at this point request for input and contribution from senior officers seated in the front.
Training Army Headquarters. The special guest of honor, sir, all other protocols duly observed. Permit me to start by appreciating our esteemed guest lecturer for this detailed lecture. So I want to make a contribution based on one of the issues we raised in the lecture related to talent management system. You said that's being practiced in the United States. And I'm proposing that it might be high time for the Nigerian Army to actually think of developing capacity in terms of professional human resource management. What we are holding on to, but we need a deliberate attempt to actually build capacity in terms of professional human resource management, and will be domiciled in the office of the military secretary. And what I'm looking at, being able to, in certain instances, have a balance between criteria for career development and operational needs of the Army. So there are instances you have officers in the field, tactical wonders. They are very courageous, they're able to inspire their men to move them to fight and stuff like that. But when you time for promotion and you bring out their records, you can see that some of those officers are really nowhere. Do we just dump them, or do we try to strike a balance? While we may not be able to project them to strategic leadership, but at least I can recall a case when I was in Tamboa, and we had this executive commission officer. It was a major, and anytime the CEO is not around, he was the next person that holds that unit. And I saw he was doing very well. But apparently by the books, his rank ceiling was a major. I was wishing that in certain instances, based on performance, we can look at people like that, give them a unit to command, because they have proven themselves outrightly in the field. Thank you very much, sir. That will be my contribution.
The special guest of honor, let me stand on the list. Brigadier July, nice contribution to this part. The guest lecturer has actually done a good job of this paper, and being a seasoned military secretary also, that was the standard expected. My just contribution and maybe a little bit,
means of how to identify officers in those particular areas and then how to partner them. If you look at the tester evaluation report of officers, there's a place where the reporting officer indicates where the strong areas of just maybe 1, 2, 3, 6 command and that. But there's no actual criteria in PR that allows the reporting officer to determine what is the strong point of this one. Is this the process that has attended or how he has performed in the field? Probably this would, by conclusion, probably look at this.
Thank you, sir.
The guest of honor and our resource person, General Fuji. Mine will just be a contribution. Going by the topic, it's very contemporary because we live in changing environments. And yesterday's methodology for managing men and fighting threats will change. It will not be the same. Things that will change are the threat patterns have changed because it's now multi-dimensional. How well are we training our men on the arms to meet this new dimension of threats in the tactical, operational, and strategic levels? The methodology for the training and assessment must also change. I was just having a chat with my former boss, and we were looking at it that if the economy of the country changes, would you have the ability to retain the best hands in uniform? Answer may be no. There will be a lot of attrition because most people that are in the system now are in the system because they don't have other jobs to do.